In Lakesh and Veritas, with honor, respect, and gratitude, welcome everyone to our high frequency living tonight, where we will be talking with Shaman Stephanie of the Sun about her shamanic services that she offers with Of the Sun. So welcome, Shaman Stephanie.
Thank you. It's so great to be here. This is going to be so fun. I'm really looking forward to getting deep with talking some different stories about shamanism and of the sun and how they're intertwined and connected to all that is.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to talking with you too and sharing my experience. So thank you. So I am Diane of the Sun, owner of Lakesh Studio One, a franchise of the Sun. We offer quantum light property clearing services, truth and tea, call for the truth card readings, and other services. You can check out these services and other highly vibrational products at inlakeshstudio1.com. And also check us out on Instagram at Lakesh Studio One. And every Friday we post a call for the truth card reading, Frequency Friday, to see what the truth the universe has for us each week. And so today the card was fear. And this was, do the thing you fear, and the death of fear is certain. And that is so true. So this is the root chakra. It's about our survival and our stability. So if you have any questions, you can check it out on Instagram, or you can also contact me at info@lakeshstudio1.com. So a few other announcements. High Frequency Living offers live streams which focus on high frequency living lifestyle topics like meditation and breath work, flowers and frequency, wellness and nutrition, of the sun classes, modalities like quantum light property clearing, soul translation, and light body movement. All the live streams are recorded, so be sure to check out our previous live streams and podcasts. And join us each week on our live streams on Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern with Lauren of the Sun for Flowers and Frequency. On Wednesdays at noon for myself with midday meditation. Thursdays at noon with Laoten Tavares with Call for the Truth, card reading in depth. And on Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern, where we have a rotating schedule. And so next Friday, we will be offering the Lakesh Studio One's Evolutionary Book Club at 7 p.m. Eastern. And we will be discussing the book Anastasia by Vladimir Megre. And this is the first book in the Ringing Cedars series. And this book has been recommended by Of the Sun for many years. This book brings forward many ideas of living with nature, as we are created from nature and we are nature. It shows the different perspectives from someone living in nature versus someone living in the city, in the more artificial world. So they're very interesting aspects. And many of these ideas are brought forth in our Of the Sun teachings. So you can find this book available as a free PDF and also as an audiobook on Spotify or on YouTube. And hope you can join us then. So there are links for classes and more info in the description of this live stream. And if you have any questions, once again, you can reach out to myself at info@lakeshstudio1.com or contact@ofthesun.com. And so that wraps up our announcements. And I invite you to join me calling for the truth. Shall we call for the truth? Shall we call to see the truth in all that we see? Shall we call to hear the truth in all that we hear? Shall we have the courage to speak the truth? And shall we invite nothing less than the truth into all of our experiences? All righty. So welcome again, Shaman Stephanie. I'm so excited to be talking with you about your shaman services through Of the Sun. and to share my experience too once we get to that point. And so, would you like to begin by sharing a short story of how you became Shaman Stephanie?
Well, I think like many people, like starting in well before 2020, I was interested in energetic work and had done some training, different kinds of things, and intuition and things like that. And in 2020, I had really found myself, 2020, 2021, I had found that my nervous system had just taken some really big hits. And a lot of the modalities and things that I had went to get into to heal would, like when you go to counseling, you go to heal your mind, or um, when you go to yoga, you're working your body and things like this. But when I hit on training for shamanism, what I learned was a modality that works with your mind, your heart, your body, and your spirit all at once, so that all of it can be integrated. And when all of it is integrated, you don't have parts of you that are discombobulated, and then you're not feeling torn within yourself. It's like all parts of you are moving forward in one direction. And when I started realizing the fact that I could move forward in one direction, I was like, okay, this has got to be where it's at. And then um, I loved when I found Of the Sun, because it was so complementary. It was like I was able to find I had all these parts that were moving together, but I also kind of needed ways to stabilize my energetic field. And I felt like Of the Sun did a really good job of teaching people how to do that. We have the light body movement to be able to like really go deep in your energetic field and support all of your life. And so it was just, I feel like it's such a good space to see both of these worlds come together, and I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. So, how do people get started if they're interested in learning more about your services and things?
Yeah, I recommend that you go to the Of the Sun website, and then if you go, um, it'll show you practitioners, and you can go and under there, click under my name. It will take you to Shamanic Services. And the best way that I recommend everybody do is just book a discovery call. They're free, and then you can figure out what is the right next step for you. And I have a couple of different services that I offer with Of the Sun. The first service is Shamanic Animal Connection, and you get to connect to the animal spirit world, and find out what animal is your spirit animal, or the supportive animal that's in this period of time in your life. It can change over time, but some people have the same spirit animal their whole time that they're here. It just depends. So that's the first thing. That's like one of the services. Another service that I offer is the soul retrieval, and we'll talk a little more about that. But that's basically it. Sometimes when we have different traumas and things like this, we may leave parts of ourselves behind in that trauma, because it just seems overwhelming or whatever it is. And so in soul retrieval, we're calling back those parts to come back into you, back into wholeness and into harmony in your life. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's wonderful. I know that I had the discovery call with you, and that was so
Mhm.
helpful. And I know when you come into the discovery call and you asked about what I wanted to work on. And so I think that's
Mhm.
something important that we need to know what we're, what we're trying to address,
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
that it can be addressed. And then that gives you more information to help you figure out which area might be the best place to start.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. What I notice with my clients a lot of times is if they're having a hard, if they're feeling like I'm going one way, I'm trying to move forward, but it feels like I'm dragging, or I'm lagging, or I'm not getting the type of response for the amount of effort that I'm putting in. I'm not experiencing in my 3D world what I think I need. Then that usually means that there's something maybe in your past that's pulling you back, that's saying, hey, I need you to come back here and look at me. Can you please? And so they almost like it acts like a rubber band. It literally can feel like it's pulling you back, or you create like these looped reoccurring patterns with with your part of yourself asking you to please retrieve me, please integrate me into your life. So if that's how you feel, it's probably recommended to do a soul retrieval. But if you're just in this place where, you feel like you've let go, or you've been able to embody yourself, but you're not really sure what your next step is. A lot of times when you're not really sure what your next step is, that is, you're going into like a territory or a habitat or something that you haven't done before. And so you don't know, you haven't ever met the thing that you're trying to create. And I love that spirit animal connection for that, because spirit animals are so good at helping people to learn how to adapt, right? The animal kingdom knows how to move and adapt to things that are happening in the world. So if you have a new job or something like that, and you're like, I'm just not sure how to navigate this, that might be a good thing for you. So,
Oh, that's a good idea. Thank you for explaining that
mhm.
in that way. That was helpful. And one thing before we get too far, there is a link, if anybody's interested, in the description of this live stream, to go to the
Perfect.
Shamanic Services tab to get started. So if anybody's interested in that, it is right there. So
That's awesome.
thank you. So I remember the discovery call. I was a little kind of confused too about but what came forward for me mostly was I kept having this a loop pattern,
Mhm.
and it was mostly control, and trying to control everything around me, and you can't do that. And what I really liked when we did the soul retrieval session was how you brought the information forward to me. It through me, you were asking questions, and then it wasn't like I was just sitting back doing nothing and waiting for something to happen, because it didn't happen that way. And I was definitely part of it, and I'm grateful for that, because it really helped to bring it forward. And
Mhm.
with those questions you asked were different than anything I was asking myself. And
Mhm.
I kept thinking, why am I still doing this? Well, you kept bringing forward, you ask this question, and I would answer it. And then it would be like, okay. And then we kept going deeper into the lineage, the ancestors. And did it start here? Did it start there? And was it there? And it was so helpful to bring that forward so that I could clear it easier. And using the of the sun, the 21-day transmutation was so helpful. And the light body movement, all the different practices helped me. I feel so much stronger now. And of course, I'm still working on it, because it's very deep, but I see such a change. And I think it was the next day when I actually saw something come into my experience where I changed that control issue and let it go in a specific situation. So thank you, thank you. I was so excited about it. I still am, and continue to see things changing. And so thank you for that. And I'm looking,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So
I love that. Hmm.
um,
I love that for you. I think that one of the things that about my sessions, about these sessions in particular, that are different from some of it depends on which service it is that you're getting in of the sun. But this service, these two services, animal spirit connection and soul retrieval, are both very interactive. It's not like going to a energetic healing session where you just lay down and someone, moves energy through you. Instead, this is more of empowering you to be able to access your own information. We talk about, in later in some of the advanced training in of the sun, we talk about your chakras are your akashic record. So in in a in a soul retrieval, that's actually kind of what we're doing. We're opening up part of your akashic record to be able to see what is the root cause of this thing that you have going on. Where did that happen? And I remember when we were doing your session, Diane, you were like, what is this? I've never experienced anything like this. you know, and because it is very interactive, and I think that it's super empowering because you realize that you are the solution.
mhm. Yes, and I see how this is so complementary with all the other of the sun modalities and things and healing, because that is the focus of the sun. Is it's you. We will help you, and you will help me also
Hmm.
do these things, but it is empowering yourself, as you said, empowering each person, each soul, to find out what it is that needs to be addressed and clear it and get it changed. So
Yeah.
thank you. It was such a wonderful experience, and I'm looking forward to doing the spirit animal connection too. Hopefully, I'll be doing that pretty soon. I do have a spirit animal, and I'm interested to see if it's going to stay the same or if it will be something different now, because that was, maybe no, yeah, maybe like 6 years ago that I did that.
Hmm.
And so now, of course, 6 years is a long time of growth and development and elevation. And so we'll see. So
Yeah.
I will be signing up for that pretty soon. Thank you.
Yeah. I have one question. I have one other question for you, Diane. One of the things that I asked you after the session at the end, when we were kind of integrating what you learned, is I asked you, how do you experience yourself differently? And I'm curious now, even further removed from it, how do you experience yourself differently now?
Well, I think I'm not looking for that control. It's like gone from the first impression of something. It's like I feel free much more free to move through life, instead of when I look back at what I used to do about looking for something new, or any situation, even a situation that was just mundane, regular task and things. And I look at those things differently now. It's much more
Mm-hmm.
freeing. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you for that. It's
That's
really been
great.
helpful, a big shift in how I've looked at things.
Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful. That's actually a big part of what that is for, is to be able to bring back more power and free yourself up. And a lot of times, this is what's really interesting. Like, our spirit contains a lot of wisdom. So when we bring parts of ourselves that we've kind of like disowned, or parts that have felt like this doesn't have space here, I can't be this here, and we bring that back in, we start noticing other spiritual gifts that we have, other spiritual powers that are there, you know, because you're a more, accessed, embodied um, spirit being. So that's wonderful. I'm glad that you just feel a little more empowered to be able to walk around. I know you said that you had conversations even that you had been kind of like avoiding. So this is great.
Mhm. Yes, thank you. Thank you, thank you. And I'm sure you've had other stories from clients that have had the service as well, and
Yeah.
their experiences. Have they had something similar? Or I suppose each
So
person is different. So,
yeah, each person is different, but and what they are wanting to target themselves is something that is really good. Um, what I've found is a lot of times, because I am a worker of body, heart, mind, I'm always looking to see how do we harmonize the body, the heart, the mind, and the spirit. Sometimes you'll notice that certain patterns or things that need to be addressed are more mind based, or they're more emotional based, or they're more body based. And so each one is unique and individual. I've also recently, yours was about control, and I've had people that come in with control, but I've also had people come in with the opposite, where they they have a hard time setting a boundary, or they feel like they feel like no control of their life. They feel disempowered, and they're not really fully embodying or being able to stick up for themselves. And so that experience is really disempowering as well. And that doesn't I specifically for um you know for mothers, that's a big issue. If you're constantly in a position where you feel like you're giving away power, and you're not able to set boundaries, then what's the experience that your children are having in that scenario where you're not able to set boundaries? And really, that's some of the experience that I had growing up. Like, in my home growing up, it was like nobody, you put up a boundary and they're like, what is that? Like just demolished over any kind of boundary, right? And so that's something that I've done a lot of work in, but I've also helped a lot of women do work in that as well, is being able to I mean, like, even sometimes I feel like women will, you know, they focus on or fixate on, I'm not being treated right. right? But
Mm.
they don't think about, how do I get to be treated right? Well, it starts with me, right? I have to be the one to say, no, this is not how you treat me. That's like step number one. And if I can't say no, that's not how you treat me, then you're going to continue to attract people that don't treat you right because you haven't shown them how to treat you. So that's something that I feel like I work a lot with women and to help them to learn how to set boundaries. And I think that it's something that, depending upon what you grew up in, you may have grown up in a place where, when I grew up, like, the the man's voice in the room was the strongest voice, and that was almost the only voice that was heard.
Mm.
And at different times, it just depends on where we were at the time, right? But
Mm.
it it meant that children didn't have a voice. And are you giving your children a voice? Do you listen to them? Are you teaching them how to set boundaries? It's great if they see you set boundaries, but are you asking them what their boundary is? It's I think it's a great way to look at your life and see, why can't you set the boundary if you can't? That's a good place to start.
Oh, that sounds like a very good question. And that would be some of the things that would be coming forward because we've given our power away
Hmm.
through not being able to give the boundaries, right?
Hmm.
And that so that
Hmm.
this service would help, especially
Yeah.
mothers. I can see that as a mother as well, how you for me, growing up, and then when I became a mother, it was like, oh, I was like my mother because that's what I knew. And
Hmm.
so I can see where that would be really helpful to explore that more. And whether it was more control or not enough control, no boundaries or too many boundaries or however that works. But I like how you bring that forward about teaching our children. We're teaching our children based on our experience because they see us. We saw our parents, and not there's no blame or anything. It's just that this is how it works. And so to get some help to help them and talk with them is very helpful. Okay. Stephanie dropped for a minute. I'm sure she'll be back. So until she comes back, I would like to just share a little bit more about my experience with the soul retrieval. Uh, it was about, I think it was like 50 minutes or an hour session. And what I found fascinating was that we were, as I said before, there was a question, and she would ask a question, and it was, we were talking with my body and myself and my soul to find out this information. And here she comes back. Okay, welcome back. I was just I was just recapping a little bit about the session that I had with you, how we had the question and then you asked me different questions. And as we went through one layer, that it was the next layer and then more layers. And was it with, I remember when you asked me if it started with me and
Hmm.
then with, my mother, and then did it start with her? And then if not, did it start with her mother? And, just keep going until we found where it started. And I think that's so helpful to identify that because then it can be cleared. Because sometimes it's hard to clear things if you're not understanding what it is or where it came from. You know, for me, I'd like to know a little bit. I don't need to know all the details, but some of the details would be good. So,
Yeah. I think when you and I connected on your discovery call, one of the things that kind of kept coming forward when we were talking is like my guidance kept saying, there isn't a why here, right? Your experience that you were experiencing in your life, you're like, I don't, I'm I'm doing all of the things to get over the thing, and I don't understand why it's still happening.
mm,
And so that was my indicator that, oh, okay, like there's a story that she doesn't feel like she can access. And that's because it didn't start with you. You needed to be able to get in deeper into the roots of your ancestry to be able to pull that up by the root and get it out, you know? Yeah.
mhm. Yes, and thank you. It is. I'm very grateful for that. So,
Yeah.
so did you want to share any other stories of anything? I want to
Well,
thank everybody.
do we want to switch over to animals?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Should we switch over to animal?
Yes.
And is there, if there's any questions, I can answer any questions about soul retrieval, but if not, we can switch
Mhm.
over to
Yeah.
animal.
It looks like in the chat, everyone's say welcome. Everybody in the chat, they're mostly just saying in Lakesh Veritas and welcome. So yeah, let's talk about the
Okay,
spirit animal.
let's talk about the fun stuff. Oh, okay. So one of the things that I feel like I want to talk about a little bit about why spirit animal, what does it mean? What are we doing here? Whatever. Um, what we're doing, I like to just think of it as a guide. You're picking up when we're connecting you, we're connecting you with a guide that may be for just this part of your life, or it may be an overarching guide. It may be a guide that you've had for many lives. No, there's no boundaries to this, really. And so you may actually have multiple animal guides. I feel like I do. There's been different times that I've had different animals come in and help me specifically with different things. And the thing is that each animal has its own power, its own essence that it embodies. And when we look at an animal, one of the things that like, there's different things to look at in an animal that like helps you understand its power and the magic that it holds. It can be part of, what habitat is it in? What's the life cycle of the animal? How does it live in the environment? How does it take from the web of life, and how does it give back to the web of life?
Mm,
These things are all very integral in helping you to understand what it is that you haven't accessed in yourself, or that you haven't been able to weave in with the environment around you. So one of the things that we do is we go to like the animal realm, and you meet your animal and you get to experience its own habitat, the way that it thinks and the way that it moves, and the, you know, the way that it feels, the things that are instinctual to it. Those types of things are things that you experience. And then, and this is not something that a lot of other people do, but this is something that I do because I feel like it's most important. I feel like it's most empowering. Then we bring your spirit animal back into your habitat, and you look at your habitat through its eyes, to be able to see, what does this animal think about your habitat? What does it think about the way that you're living your life? How can it help you? And also, how do you then access its, its help, its guidance in your life? So I can see your smiles and your reactions. I'm curious what's coming up with for you when I explain it that way.
Yes, yes. I'm like, whoa, I it's kind of interesting to know, um, to find out about that because it's from
Mhm,
a different perspective, you know?
mhm,
The way we look at things is different than an animal would, and if we were looking at things through the eyes of an animal also, it would be different because they
mhm.
oh, I'm excited. I'm gonna be signing up very soon.
So I did one recently with an of the sun client, and one of the things that was really cute, like she picked up on a fox, and she just had so much fun with this fox. And one of the things that she notices is like the fox is very much in its own experience. It's not thinking about all the people around. It's not thinking about, how do I perform for all of these other people? Instead, it's like, well, this is what I want to do, so this is what I'm going to do. you know? And she said that she's been having a lot of difficulty lately in like being able to set her own boundaries, or being able to say, like, this is my decision and this is why I'm doing it. She doesn't have to go into a big long explanation or justify herself or whatever. She just be like, this is my life and this is what I'm going to do. And that's exactly what she needed to like be able to have. And then when we brought the animal into her habitat, her home, and her workplace and stuff like that, then she noticed other things, and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm blocking so many things in my life that could be more fun. you know, that was one of the things that her animal was very fun. It was like frolicking in the meadow and all these other things. And so she was able to see that there was a lot more fun that she could
Oh,
access. Okay, what do we
Stephanie,
got?
your volume just went down.
My
I don't
volume.
know if anybody else has heard that, but I all of a sudden your volume went very low.
Really?
Oh,
Okay, how
good.
about now?
Okay.
Can you hear me
Now
now?
you're okay. Okay.
Okay, I don't know.
Oh, maybe you were farther
Okay.
away from it. Maybe that was it.
Well, and I was waving my hands too. I get a little excited about this stuff.
Well, and it is exciting, so thank you. I
Yeah,
didn't mean to interrupt, but
no worries.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so I find that one of the things that is helpful about the spirit animal when we were doing this is, you know, she had she had kind of just like, she was in this place where she was navigating something kind of new in her life, and she's like, I kind of haven't done this before, but I don't really know. Like, I feel like I'm doing my best. I don't know what else to do, you know? And so when we did it, she's like, oh, like, I see, like, in my own world, I'm blocking a lot of fun, and I feel like I have to justify myself, and this animal doesn't do any, there's no justification. There's just, this is what I do. And so she was able to access these different ways of being her own self in the world through being connected to this animal. So I'm curious with that, like, I'm curious, if you're on the line, what is something that you feel like you would love to learn to embody a little more?
Oh, wow. That would be, um I'm still working with that control, but,
Mhm.
I have to sit and think about this because there's many areas that I would really like to have.
Right.
Because I feel like I'm expanding myself and growing, but then there's sometimes with limits, I feel
Mm-hmm.
limited sometimes. And
Mm-hmm.
I also had that idea where I always had to explain myself to people and not just do
Mm.
what I wanted to do, or what I thought was the best. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm just going to do whatever I want. And I don't mean it in that way. And I know that
Yeah.
you don't mean it that way either. It's just that we're doing whatever we're doing is for us, but also for the collective and the whole humanity. We're
Mm-hmm.
not just being selfish. And I think that was something I was always brought up, that you don't pay attention to yourself because that's being selfish. And you have to be, aware of everyone else. And what is everybody else
Yes.
thinking, you know? So
Yeah.
I guess that would
Okay.
maybe be.
So this brings up a really good point. I really want to make sure that I talk about this. In doing the spirit animal connection, one of the things that we're looking at and one of the things that we're helping ourselves to embody is the fact that we are a part of nature. And when a fox is in nature, I'm just going to stick with the fox for right now. But when a fox is in nature, it's not excessive. Like, it doesn't overtake or overgive. It's just doing its natural instinct. And when we're doing our
Mm,
natural instinct, we will naturally support life. Like anything else it's the things that are not our natural instinct that cause the issues in the beginning,
mm,
right? Like,
exactly. Yes.
is a baby a problem?
Yeah.
Is a baby a problem? No. Baby's not a problem. It's just doing what its natural instinct is. And
Mhm.
so the more that we are able to um, see ourselves as part of the web of life, the more that we're able to say, hey, it's totally okay if I know that I'm coming from my nature, the nature of who I am as human, and this is what I need, or this is what feels like the instinctual thing for me to do. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't need to justify it to anyone.
Mm, that's a good point. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a good
Yeah.
perspective to look at it from from that way, that
Mm-hmm.
we are coming from nature, and that is our instinct is something we need to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, for sure. And this is something that the spirit animal connection can help you deepen that understanding within yourself, and that being able to uphold within yourself that my instinct is of value. I'm like, it's gold. It is the most precious thing that we could possibly embody in this life, is to embody our actual instinct, right? Not the conditioning of the world, but our actual human instinct.
Yes, our original blueprint, as Lotus
Mm-hmm.
says.
Yeah,
That
for
that would
sure.
be our instinct, would be our original blueprint, right?
Yes, that
Yes.
would be for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So if there's not anything in the comments, then I can tell you another story.
Okay. There's a comment from Tavares.
Okay.
And he says, seeing your environment from the perspective of your spirit animal sounds fascinating. I can see how
Mhm.
transformative that additional perspective is to integrating the medicine from the spirit animal. So,
Yes.
yes, I,
Yes,
I'm
that's so true. That really is true.
I'm excited
I
to
think,
experience this. Yes, go ahead.
yeah, that is something that a lot of I haven't really experienced many shamans do it that way, but it's something that just really felt so empowering and instinctual for me. I know there's been times in my waking conscious life that I've experienced and like my spirit animals coming to me and coming forward and being like, hey, is that really what you want to do right there? I'm not sure. Like, I I don't know that I can stick with you if you're going to make that choice because I say no. Like
Oh,
I'll go in the other room if this is really the choice you want to make, but like I'm not going to stay, you know. you know and so that's really interesting. It's been really interesting, but I've also experienced the other way where I've been able to embody like the power of their voice, the power of their no, the power of even their yes. They're full on embracing of life and charging after the thing that they want. um all of those feel very like have a very different energy in your body, and being able to access that is so empowering. So one of the stories that I wanted to share, um, when I was going through my training and I was doing some of my deep healing, I had someone that was uh, facilitating a healing on me. And one of the things that I had was my mother, my birth mother, and pretty much all of her line had like really bad anxiety. And so I didn't have a mother's imprint of a nervous system that was regulated. That just wasn't my experience. And, I mean, she did a lot of things to try and fix that in her life. It's not like she was, it wasn't like she wasn't trying. She was trying. Okay. And so I was in I was in this soul retrieval with another person, and she was helping me to have this experience of a nervous system that was from a mother that was completely coherent, so that I could embody that a little better. And I I could feel within myself, like I don't know any female. I could feel my spirit like searching my current life for that, of how who had that, so that I could embody that, and I just wasn't finding it. And then eventually I was like, oh, okay, I'm having this kind of weird sensation. It feels kind of like I'm on this rug and it's kind of furry. And then I'm going deeper into the feeling, into the sensation, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that fur is breathing. And it was a mama bear, and I was hibernating with her
oh,
next to her. And I was able to have this experience of a mother that was heart coherence with me, and it was helping my nervous system to find coherence. So I have like these deep healings with with the spirit animals in my life, of being able to really access some deeper places that I feel like it wasn't that heart coherence wasn't available, right? It was that the imprint of a mother that had that wasn't available until I had that experience with a bear. So I wanted to share that.
Oh, thank you. That was amazing. And so
Mhm.
that came forward in your soul retrieval as well. So you had the animal and the soul
Yeah.
retrieval. That the animal was part of the soul retrieval to help you.
Mhm. Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah. Sometimes spirit doesn't have boundaries, right?
Yes.
It's not bounded when we're in the spirit realm and we're doing things. It's not bounded by, oh, we're in spirit retrieval, so only this can come through. Instead, it's like, no, we have this intention of healing this pattern, and we find what is available for us. And that's what spirit brought forward for me, and I'm so grateful for it.
Oh, that's awesome. One of the things that you mentioned about the spirit animal too coming forward, and you said you hear yours and talk with them, and you feel them and things. And I think that's something that is important, that we need to be aware of them. I know
Mhm.
I've had one for some time, but I don't always interact with it. And so to be more
Mhm.
aware and of that, be more aware and be in communication with that, I think is important. So thank you for bringing that up. And there is another comment from Tavares. He says, "Oh yes, the fox. This has been my spirit animal for over a decade. The concepts you shared about the fox landed for me this evening. Looking forward to booking a session with you." So there's somebody else that's
Oh,
going to be
that's so
booking
cool.
sessions. So
I love that. I love
wow.
that so much. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Um, Getting to the point that you made about being in connection with them in our waking lives after the session, stuff like that. One of the things that I do is I help kind of point you, navigate you to help you understand when is it that you're like, if your spirit animal is present, what are you going to feel in your body when that spirit animal is present, when it's trying to get your attention? Some like to, like, if it's a bird, sometimes they like to just like come, there's going to be a tap on your shoulder or something like that. It just depends on what it is for the individual person. But when you know that, when you have that kind of point of reference, then
Mm.
you can easily then come back to it. And the more that you use that, and the more that it will also, like we talk about, usually they have a gift for you. They have a spiritual gift. They have magic powers that they're willing to share with you. And they are, like I said, they're guides. You can ask them to tutor you in that sort of power or their essence, whatever it is that they're here to help you with in that time. And having regular meditation with them, or you know even regular walks with them. I don't, however you want
Mhm.
to do it, it doesn't matter to, it doesn't matter, but having some sort of regular connection with them is really good. Because then you have this other perspective that you can access.
Yes, that would be very helpful, because I think sometimes, I know for me, things sometimes are always one way. And if you look at it a different way, and so bringing in the spirit animal would bring a different perspective into it, which would be very helpful. I like that
Yes,
idea.
for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Are there any other questions that people have?
No, there aren't any other questions. There
Okay.
were just like comments of things. Stacy said, my spirit animal has helped me to learn better balance of polarities, protection of boundaries, and navigating tough situations. The aspects of
Mhm.
incorporating their natural habitat is interesting, especially since I've changed habitats again since getting my spirit animal. So
Oh, I love that.
that's,
Walk
yeah.
them around your house. See what they say about each room, each of your rooms.
Yes. I'm going to be doing that too. I'm going to be asking my spirit animal that I have right now to come into my habitat and let me know what they think. So,
Yeah, that's
oh,
awesome.
this was wonderful. Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to share, Stephanie? Or
The only other thing that I'd like to share is, at the when like one of the things that I really like about this is you get these new tools that you can use. I mean, this isn't just like you have the session with me and you go about your life, right? Instead, you have new tools that you can access and use. And I really recommend, just book book a discovery call if you're interested. If it feels like, hey, like I don't know what that's all about, but I want to know more, book a discovery call, see if it works for you.
awesome. Yes, I encourage everyone to book a discovery call to find out this wonderful information. I'm so excited. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Stephanie. It's been a wonderful, wonderful evening and conversation. Thank you for all of your insights and your assistance. And thank you, everyone,
Thank you.
for joining. And we'll see you next time. And be
And
sure to
Lakesh
sign up
Veritas.
in Lakesh and Veritas with honor, respect, and gratitude, integrity, discipline, and action.